Welcome back to Respoiled. Today, I have another captivating story to share with you. But before we dive in, if you're new here, I invite you to subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications, so you'll never miss out on all of my latest uploads. Now let's get started. In the future, alarms sound at the Axamaco nuclear plant as one reactor catches fire. Guards and drones rush in while panicked employees scatter. Two engineers aim to avert an explosion, but they're unsure which button to press. The instructions are in Cantonese. Adding to the chaos, the door is jammed, trapping them inside. In that moment, a mysterious man named Fox appears outside the door, urging the engineers not to press the blue button. Claiming to be from the future, he warns of dire consequences. Unsure whether to trust him, the engineers hesitate as Fox vanishes, returning with a translator, albeit in the wrong language. After several back and forths, the engineers finally trust him and prepare to press the yellow button. However, the time patrol suddenly appears in the corridor. Fox vanishes instantly, and the patrol insists the guy was a terrorist, instructing the engineers to press the blue button. Once the patrol leaves, the engineers comply and the situation appears to stabilize, but the nuclear plant ultimately detonates. Meanwhile, Deputy Gilbert announces a deal with Axamaco, a Chinese corporation, to construct an atomic plant. Eco-activist Alice interrupts, warning that the company's use of outdated technologies may lead to future disasters. Ignoring her concerns, Gilbert summons the guards who promptly apprehend Alice and her activist companions. Following the conference, Alice's father, who turns out to be Gilbert, bails her out. Later, her friends confront her for not disclosing her relationship with Gilbert. To prove her loyalty, they urge her to hack into Gilbert's computer to uncover evidence of his ties with Axamaco. In the evening, Gilbert reminisces over old videos of his deceased wife, Alice's mother. As Gilbert retires for the night, Alice attempts to access his computer, only to encounter Fox attempting to steal it. In her panic, Alice strikes Fox with a bottle, inadvertently alerting Gilbert. He descends the stairs, immediately considering calling the police. At that instant, the time patrol materializes in the yard and aims at Fox, whom Alice shields, inadvertently causing Gilbert to be shot in the leg. The patrol swiftly enters the house, prompting Fox to seize Alice and Gilbert before activating his bracelet, transporting them away. They materialize in a mysterious corridor where Alice evades a person and flees until she reaches a precipice, revealing the ruined city below. Overwhelmed, she faints, but is rescued before falling. Sometime later, Alice awakens in a shabby room, spying Gilbert in the adjacent one through a small hole in the wall. Just then, a guy named Raph enters, offering his meager food supply and revealing he's from another timeline. Later, Raph guides Alice and Gilbert to the lab where Fox awaits. Despite Gilbert's reluctance, he rushes to escape, only to encounter a horde of repulsive zombies blocking his path. Frightened, Gilbert shuts the door as scientist Henry joins them, clarifying the zombies they encountered were slow-moving, with even more dangerous ones capable of sprinting. It's revealed that Alice and Gilbert have been transported to a post-apocalyptic future, overrun by zombies following the explosion at the Axamaco nuclear plant. Despite Henry's video evidence, Gilbert suspects it's a ploy to derail his deal. However, upon reopening the door, the group swiftly eliminates the zombies, declaring their intent to venture outside. Alice and Gilbert are ushered into an armored car and taken on a tour of the desolate city, discovering a deserted Paris overrun by zombies. Eventually, the group halts the car, revealing a looming radioactive cloud as further evidence of the devastation. They clarify that this object circles the Earth every 70 years, annihilating anything within its reach. Furthermore, it expands in size annually, ensuring no survivors during its next approach. Gilbert acknowledges his error, prompting Fox to prepare to shoot him, until Alice intervenes, pleading for alternatives. Another approach involves pilfering the laptop to trigger a political scandal. However, the Time Patrol opposes altering history, fearing repercussions, and would promptly intervene to halt such actions. Unexpectedly, Gilbert faints, causing confusion among the group. In the midst of the chaos, Raph proposes a novel idea: Gilbert should voluntarily refrain from signing, thereby evading detection by the Time Patrol. Alice concurs, highlighting Gilbert's prior demeanor before his mother's passing, suggesting the potential for change. Fox consents to the plan with a caveat: he'll shoot Gilbert if they risk being apprehended by the patrol. Subsequently, Henry opts to return to the lab as the rest head to the nearby pub. Alice requests water, prompting laughter as clean water has become scarce. Following a meeting with locals, Alice endeavors to persuade Gilbert to reconsider the nuclear plant deal, but he remains indecisive. A heated argument erupts, with Alice publicly attributing blame to Gilbert for the bleak future. To divert attention, Gilbert offers to cover everyone's drinks and flees with Alice. Fox and Raph attempt to pursue them, only to be impeded by intoxicated patrons. While traversing the desolate streets, Alice and Gilbert encounter a swarm of zombies, prompting a hasty retreat that leads them into an alleyway. Just in time, Fox and Raph arrive, dispatching a few zombies to clear the path, only to find themselves trapped as well. With ammunition running low, Fox attempts to activate his bracelet, only to discover it's out of power. As the zombies close in, a group of warrior children suddenly appear, wielding spears to eliminate some of the undead. They lure the remaining zombies away, allowing Alice's group to flee the alley. Meanwhile, the Time Patrol scours the slums, resorting to violence to extract information on Henry's lab location. As they approach the lab, Henry detects them via his security system. Hastily, he gathers his belongings and triggers the self-destruct sequence. Escaping just in time, Henry watches as the lab erupts in a massive explosion, though he is still caught in the flames' reach. The Time Patrol remains unscathed due to their protective gear. Amidst the ruins, they uncover a mysterious map. On the other hand, Alice's group is led to the hideout settlement, where the children band together for survival. During their meal, Henry unexpectedly materializes on the table, having teleported to evade the flames, albeit sustaining burns. He attempts to alert the group of the imminent threat, but the Time Patrol has already breached the hideout. Acting swiftly, the children take cover behind tables, hurling stones at the intruders, prompting a response with a grenade. In a bid to shield the children, Henry sacrifices himself by leaping onto the grenade, resulting in an explosion that disperses his robotic components, exposing his true nature. An enraged Fox prepares to shoot Gilbert, but Alice and the hideout leader intervene, suggesting alternative actions. This diversion enables the patrol to subdue Fox with a taser and apprehend him. Despite Raph's resistance, he too is overwhelmed. The locals, opting for surrender, emerge with raised hands, startling Officer Louise, who decries the involvement of children in conflicts. She assures no harm will befall them, as their jurisdiction pertains solely to time-related offenses. Subsequently, Raph, Fox, Alice, and Gilbert are escorted away by the patrol. At the Time Patrol headquarters, Chief Constance expresses gratitude to Alice for aiding in the capture of the rebels. Alice maintains that Fox's actions were justified, prompting Constance to step out and send an older version of Alice to persuade her. Older Alice argues against altering history, attesting to the benefits of Gilbert's business endeavors, which facilitated her enjoyable life. She also discloses Gilbert's impending illness due to excessive drinking after his wife's demise, advising her younger self to cherish their time together. Subsequently, Alice and Gilbert are returned to the present. Meanwhile, Fox and Raph face Constance's accusations of causing immense harm to others. Fox highlights that he has saved numerous lives, but the patrol cannot recall it due to the resetting of time with each alteration he makes. Only those who initiate changes retain memories of alternate realities. The officers are bewildered, prompting Constance to angrily order both criminals to be confined in the Hole, a timeless prison. In the present, Gilbert enters his car to proceed with the pivotal meeting, prompting his driver to inquire about Alice and commend her intelligence. Overcome with guilt, Gilbert requests to return home. After reuniting with Alice, Gilbert expresses his desire to spend the day with her. In the future, the patrol detects significant temporal alterations, prompting Fox to suggest that these changes stem from Gilbert's internal decisions, rendering patrol interference impossible. Despite this, Constance defies protocol, instructing officers to coerce Gilbert into signing the contract, even if it means resorting to lethal measures against Alice. While Louise opposes this brutal directive, Constance dispatches Mateo and Victor instead, while assigning Louise to escort the prisoners to the Hole under her assistant's supervision. Outside the city, the radioactive cloud draws nearer, claiming the lives of some zombies and the pub owner. In the hideout, it becomes apparent that Henry is alive and attempting to assist despite his damaged state. However, his bracelet is malfunctioning, and there's insufficient time to construct a new time machine, so they resign themselves to await their fate. In the present, Victor and Mateo invade Gilbert's home and menace Alice, compelling Gilbert to concede to signing the papers. Victor remains to guard Alice while Mateo accompanies Gilbert in the car. Returning to Louise, her group arrives at the Hole, where she deceives Constance's assistant into approaching, allowing her to push him away. She then sets Raph and Fox free, hoping they can shape a brighter future. Equipping the men with freshly charged bracelets, Louise heads to Constance to report mission completion. However, Constance grows suspicious and inquires about her assistant. Their conversation is abruptly interrupted by news of the prisoner's escape. Louise attempts to fire her weapon, but Constance swiftly evades, hiding under her desk before launching a counterattack in the dimmed room. A fierce confrontation unfolds, with both women showcasing remarkable abilities. Despite intense struggle and numerous missed shots, Constance disarms Louise and dismisses her with a gunshot. Meanwhile, Fox emerges atop Gilbert's car, startling the driver, who halts abruptly, causing a fall. When Mateo investigates, Fox seizes him by the leg and transports him to a World War I battlefield. Amidst gunfire and explosions, Mateo pursues Fox, who attempts to flee but sustains bracelet damage from a soldier's charge. The men engage in a close-quarters brawl, with Mateo relying on his expertise while Fox employs underhanded tactics. Despite their determination, they're forced to yield when the area is unexpectedly bombarded by airstrikes. Simultaneously, Raph confronts Alice and Victor, prompting Victor to strike Raph, causing him to stumble. As Victor attempts to shoot, Raph teleports around the room to evade the bullets, eventually plunging into the pool. Emerging, he teleports behind Victor, initiating another fight as they teleport around the room together once more. Alice seizes a bottle, focusing before striking and rendering Victor unconscious. She then contacts her father, but Constance intervenes, confiscating the phone and revealing Mateo has apprehended Fox. Subsequently, Constance escorts Gilbert to the meeting, compelling him to sign. As Gilbert prepares to comply, reality begins to warp around him. Unbeknownst to him, Raph and Alice have traveled back to her birth, where she brandishes Victor's gun to coerce the attending doctor, who happens to be Henry. She compels him to prioritize saving the mother over the baby, leading Fox to realize in the present that Alice is fading from the timeline. Reality shifts persistently, correcting all temporal anomalies observed by Louise at headquarters. Amid childbirth, the mother awakens, encountering Alice, and queries her identity. Alice responds as, "Nobody," before vanishing. Gilbert, comprehending the situation, cries out his daughter's name, finding himself abruptly in a comforting kitchen. His wife is alive, and they now have 2 new daughters, enjoying what seems to be a pleasant life. After recovering from his shock, he recalls needing to sign something, only for his wife to inform him that he already did. A newspaper reveals Gilbert's initiation of an eco-friendly renewable energy project. In the future, Fox awakens to the news that the radioactive cloud never existed, ensuring the safety of the children. Louise is now integrated into their team, retaining full memory of the change facilitated by her assistants, while the rest of the patrol remains oblivious. They all gather to revel at the pub, where it becomes apparent that Alice is present due to her creation of a time paradox. By undoing her own birth yet avoiding disappearance to prevent nullifying her initial actions, she now exists while simultaneously not existing. Don't forget to like, subscribe and enable notifications for more content like this. Thank you for watching.